This video might be long. I don't know. I want to talk, and I don't usually, or I haven't in a while, talked about my personal life. Y'all see me. Y'all know I'm talking hoops or something. If you've been here long enough, I'm talking politics or something. But I just want to talk. And people get criticized for coming on the internet to talk. They're like, why you don't talk to a friend? Like, I have friends that I feel like I can talk to, but I also feel like everybody is dealing with stuff. And even if you ask for permission, like, yo, you got the capacity to talk to me right now, I want to talk about something. They could feel pressured in that because they love you so much. Like, I don't want to put weight on people that don't want to willingly listen for real. Like, so if you catch my video and you strolling, this is at your own free will. You could keep scrolling at any moment. But I also understand why people come to the internet to share, because I've met a lot of great people online. I've built great connections in this online space, and people that I consider friends, people that, they my aunties, they my online aunties. I got a lot of love online. So I'm coming to y'all and know that I've also tried therapy. I do actively participate in therapy. I have in the past, at least. I don't do it now. And an experience that I recently had, or I have been having with therapy, is that I have an online therapist, or I've had online therapists, and they'll be late for meetings, or they'll say my name wrong. And I feel like I got one of the easy. My name is Cassie. Cassie. One of the oldest names, I feel like, in America. And for you to keep getting my name wrong is crazy when I've seen you over weeks. And it's not like, sometimes I know it's about the connection with people. Like, I forget people's name, but you're my therapist. Like, you might be busy, everybody busy, but get my name right. And then I had an experience where my therapist did not show up. Recently, my therapist did not show up. Like, literally no call, no show. And what makes this hit even harder is that I did that. I missed my appointment. Like, one day, I scheduled the appointment in haste, like just a couple of days before the actual date. Things got crazy that day, and I missed my appointment. And I was charged for missing my appointment until I explained my situation. It was a whole thing, though. They was coming after me strong for my missed appointment fees. All for them to have a situation where they don't show up and nothing is said. Like, they didn't contact me to follow up on that. Like, nothing. Like, nobody reached out. And what if I was going through a crisis? Like, I don't think that I was, but what if I was? You know what I'm saying? So I've tried therapy. I say all that. I've tried therapy. So now I'm just coming to my online community because I just want to talk. And then maybe this might hit somebody else. Maybe somebody else going through something similar. But back in July, I was part of an active shooter evacuation. I don't want to get into it. I have an article on womensbasketball365.com if you want to read about my experience. But I had that situation happen to me. And since then, I've had this presence of death and fear loom in my life. And I'm from the South, from Georgia. And death has been around me for a very long time, since I can remember. I remember experiencing loss at a very early age when my grandmother passed, my father's mother. And I had really just met her, just really started to spend time. And that was my first experience. I can't remember the age. So I've been experiencing loss. And if anybody out there has dealt with grief and loss, they know that it's tricky. So I have this experience where I feel like my life is in danger. And then after my friend passed away, this is a new experience for me because they were a popular person. The way that they died, in some eyes, wasn't honorable. I'm not going to get into that either, but if you know, you know. So for them to be a popular person and to pass in this infamous way, to see what people come online and say, like, I'm seeing people on my friend who I love, who I had my own experiences with, rest in peace. You got what you deserve, et cetera, et cetera. Like, that's a different kind of feeling to have somebody that you love and you have these experiences with, to go through that. When you think of someone passing, you think of rest in peace. You say they're finally at peace now. So to see that happen, and it don't feel like he at peace now, it's been disturbing for me. It's been making me want to live my life differently. I'm a lot more intentional now. I want to be a better person now, because at any point, I feel like a person has been the worst version of their self. But I come on the internet and I see so many people passing judgment, and it's mind-boggling to me, and it is sobering for me, and it just hits differently. Like, what is my perception to other people? Who am I in other people's story? I know I've been a villain, I know. I'm not proud of things that I've done, but I can't take that back. The only thing that I can do is keep moving forward and trying to be better in my new encounters. And I think that people don't really have grace for that. And that's what that situation has helped me to realize. So I'm dealing with that. I feel like I finally get into a stable position with that. I start creating again. I'm writing music again. I'm trying to, really understand where I'm at, understand where my headspace is. Then my father-in-law passes unexpectedly. Very quick situation. It's one of those situations where you really understand the quote, here today, gone tomorrow. And he was a good man, one of the best. And I didn't have long enough to get to know him, and I saw a lot of myself in him. And then to watch somebody that you love go through something so painful, that hurts. I think my partner is the nicest, compassionate, amazing person. Her family. So if he's a great man, energy attracts. So you have great people around you. One of the best families I know is going through something so painful. He's a pillar in his community. So not just his family, the community around him, his neighbors, all of these people are hurting. And you understand what loss feels like. To watch them go through it, that's a different kind of grief. That's a different type of pain that you're feeling. Because what do you do to comfort someone going through something so painful that you know so well, and you really can't help? You can be loving, you can show up, you can do the things that you know that you want it done, but at the end of the day, you know that they're still gonna hurt. So to watch that, that's been different. But the craziest thing about death is that all these things are happening, but life is still happening too. You're still moving through the world. Other people are not experiencing what you're experiencing. You still gotta show up for you as you. You still got things to do. Rent is due. You gotta survive. You gotta remember to breathe, pray, vote. All of these things are happening, and you still care about everything else that's going on in the world because you have to, because you gotta survive. And now you're constantly feeling like that's in danger too. Your livelihood is in danger every day. And I'm Black, and I'm gay. My partner is biracial, multiracial. They are white presenting. So I deal with that, knowing what I know and living the experience as a Black person and dealing with this administration. In my hometown, there's a mayor race about to happen. We're about to vote for a new mayor in my hometown in May, and I care. I've worked in the government in my hometown. I worked on the Public Safety Civilian Oversight Board. I care a lot about public safety and the safety of people. All three of these candidates are honestly great. I think that no matter who is elected out of these three, it's a good pick. So now we really got to look at the details. We got Dexter Fisher. I've worked with Dexter Fisher closely. He is an ex officio for the Public Safety Civilian Oversight Board. He's a conservative Democrat. He's for the people. He understands people, charismatic. He has good relationships with Republican people. In fact, Republican entities have backed him in the past. He knows how to maneuver through the government. He's been a commissioner. He has a strong relationship with law enforcement. And even though statistics say that over-policing does not yield the results that people are hoping for, people still love the police. The other two candidates, Tim Denson, Lakeisha Gann, great candidates. Tim Denson has experience. He was a commissioner. He was rezoned out of his district because obviously he was doing so well. So they drew up a new district and forced him out of the commission. Then he became a part of the school board. He cares about the children. People that know that children are the future, protect them, give them what they need to thrive. We know that Tim Denson knows how to do that. But if you listen to Tim, his ideas can be a little aspirational. He believes in having co-entities that help the police when it comes to mental health crisis, when it comes to civil disputes, domestic disputes. Because sometimes when the police get involved, in these minor situations, not so favorable outcomes happen. People die. Sometimes when the police show up to the scene, people die. So if we had other public safety entities to help out with these non-emergency situations, it'll give the police more time back, and then it'll also hopefully resolve these situations in a safe manner. But when you talk about this, then you know money has to be involved. So somebody has to pay these other public safety entities, which could lead to defunding the police. And when you say words like defunding the police, people get scared because there's situations like the Lake and Raleigh situation, where a student is just running on UGA campus and is unalived. They're killed, because sometimes I think saying unalived is softening the blow too much, and we have to call it what it is. Someone died. A young person died who's trying to do better in their life. They were going to school, and the person to blame is an immigrant. Things start to heat up in this small town. If you know anything about Athens, you know that Athens is the home of UGA. You also know that Athens, even though they present as progressive, this is a red city. These are conservative, white Americans. We have Trumpers. You mixed an immigrant in with a violent crime, that is a springboard to hate. So people aren't putting up with immigration, and people don't want to hear anything about defunding the police. And if you know anything about Trumpers, you also know that they don't want to talk about racism, even though everything points to them being racist. They don't want you to call them racist, though. I think that Lakeisha Gant is intelligent, the most intelligent candidate in the race. I think she might be too real for the race. I don't think they're ready to hear the things that she has to say. She's a doctor. It's Dr. Lakeisha Gant. I believe that she's a clinical therapist. So she's using big words, and her thoughts are aspirational. She called out UGA when they talked about affordable housing, because that's a big ticket thing. When she talks about affordable housing, she directly calls out UGA. Yes, UGA is providing jobs, one of the biggest, if not the biggest employer in the city. But if all they're doing is offering jobs, that's not, if all UGA is doing is offering jobs, that's not enough, because the jobs aren't all paying livable wages. That's an issue. So we can't talk about affordable housing before we talk about the wages that are being paid by the employers here in the city. UGA is the biggest employer. UGA is also pushing residents out of the city because they're buying up all the land, because they're providing student housing. There is very little resident housing, and the resident housing that they have is projects. They're pushing the projects out. They're giving people Section 8 vouchers. They're pushing residents out of the city, and the residents that are still in the city are in poverty, or they're in that place of middle ground. Not impoverished, but they're not rich. They're middle class. And those people are hurting too, the working class. There's not a lot of job opportunities here that are paying livable wages. So what is the city going to do to talk about affordable housing? Because Dr. Lakeisha Gant said that providing 20 new units is not enough. All of these people on the ballot, what do I do? And how do I tell people that look like me, that are around my age or younger, that this shit is important? I'm hurting, but I feel like I also have a civic duty. How can I get involved in this? We vote in May. All of this is happening. Death is around me, but I gotta show up as a civilian, and I gotta show up for my people for real. I gotta show up for my family. My niece had a turtle. Had because she gave it to my mom, or my mom adopted it because she abandoned it and wasn't taking good care of it. So my mom don't know nothing about turtles, but she care about living things, takes in the turtle, and she's doing the best she can. And when I come to visit, I see the turtle, and man, I feel bad for the turtle. It's like the turtle looked me in my eyes, and I need to help it. And it's probably could also be coming down from my want right now for things to live, innocent things to live. That's what I want right now. So my way of helping this in the way that I can is helping this turtle. And I done spent damn near $600 on this turtle. And I also have a dog. My dog doesn't like nail cuts. She broke her nail a while ago on some concrete, broke her nail, chipped her nail. It was a painful experience, traumatic experience, obviously. Now we can't come near her nails, so now I have to pay for her to get sedated. Before I can pay for her to get sedated, I gotta catch her up with her annuals. So now that she has to get sedated and do the annuals, That's about $500. I done spent over $1,000 on pets, because I want them to live, because they didn't ask to be here. Need I remind you, the rent is due. Rent is due, and it's basketball season. And I gotta show up as Coach C. Thankfully this year, I'm just an assistant, not a head coach this season. I was juggling 2 teams last season. I was a head coach at a middle school and the assistant coach at a high school. I also work full time. There's things that I have to do. People, I'm an adult. So this season, I've scaled back and I'm an assistant coach, but I still got to show up in the way that I can for those girls because I've been watching some of them grow now for the past 3 years. And I care about them and I care about their livelihood. And I've had to learn so many things as a coach because I love basketball so much, but everybody don't love the game like how I love the game. And a lot of these kids just playing basketball so they don't have to go home, so they can have something to do, so they can talk to their friends. Everybody not trying to make it to the NCAA. Everybody not trying to play basketball at the next level. What can I do to help them show up in the world as just people? That's where I've come to. That's where I'm at. I gotta give y'all content. I gotta watch the game. I'm missing moments. I feel like I haven't been showing up as my Coach C self online this year because of all the things that are happening. And I want to get back to the game on here. And I can't wait till the season picks back up. The NCAA season picks up because with the WNBA out, I don't have any distraction now. Now I just got to deal with these things sober. I just been wanting to scream, yo. I just been wanting to scream. It's been so crazy. And I just miss my partner. I just, miss the WNBA season. I miss the WNBA season. I miss the good times that I had just going online when online felt like a safe space. And then the more you grow in the online space, the more hate you get. That's why it's hard for me to even be on Facebook, man. My comments be crazy. I get a lot of love. But, in between the love, I get a little hate. And it's just annoying. Like, it don't bother me in a sense, like make me feel bad about myself, but it's just annoying. You see that? And, of course, my algorithm is set up for basketball and politics and music. That's all I'm seeing. Everywhere has its toxicity. So I can't even see the things that I enjoy without seeing a bunch of toxicity in the comment section because I scroll the comment section. Okay, of course I could just watch or look at the content and not look at the comment section. But sometimes there's some good, funny things or some relatable things or some breakdowns in the comments that I like to see. So I like the comments for what they are. But then sometimes you just see the stupidity and it's like, oh my God, people think like this. I feel lighter right now. I feel lighter just talking about this. Like literally my chest just feels lighter. I just feel like my life has come to grief and spending money. That's what it feels like. And I gotta have more balance. I gotta get back to stretching more. I gotta get back to running more and doing my workout thing. But when all the things are happening, you can get off of your workout schedule. I gotta get back into playing basketball as much as I'm talking about basketball because basketball is why I love it. My therapy, my way of just clearing my mind, letting out that steam. And I gotta get back to that. Coming to the end of this conversation, and usually when I post a video, I say, what are your thoughts? Just to be transparent, if it's not anything motivating, I don't even want to hear your thoughts, man. Like, if you can't send me no love right now, you can't send me no guidance right now, I don't want to hear your thoughts. Keep them to yourself. I think we need to learn to not, and we need to do more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saying our thoughts too much. You don't have to believe everything you think. Just because you think it don't mean you're going to feel like that a few hours later after you've done some critical thinking. So keep your thoughts to yourself. If they not, because I can think negatively of myself. I promise you I already am. I promise you I am a hypercritical person of myself. I've learned to share less with other people. And I know that in the past, I'm like, I'm just keeping it real. Keeping it real is not always about speaking your mind. That's what I've learned. Sometimes you need to think on what you think is real. Anyway, I love y'all, my Hoops tribe, my tribe. My tribe that's been here through my music and that's still following me. I love y'all. I love all y'all. Yeah. Let's talk hoops. Let's talk life. Let's talk love.